So I am just back from vacation and it's almost midnight. I don't have a watch on, but I looked at my watch. Anyway, and I had a really awesome dream last night, and it started with someone who I think, if I thought about it, I experienced a great deal of hurt from our interactions in life. So much so that it still is with me in my thoughts. And this person I cared a great deal about. Anyway, but in this dream, this person shared with me that the hurt that I felt was a result of lessons that they had not learned, and that translated into me being wounded by something that they were struggling with. And so it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with their need to heal. And we were in this place. I'm not sure where it was, but we were finally I was finally getting closure on this. And I realized that what happened between us allowed for everything in my life that I now had to take place. And so I realized that had it not been for our interaction, that I wouldn't have any of my children. And I looked back at the situation that was very hurtful for many, many, many years. And even, I guess, on some level now. But I looked back at that as it had to happen that way in order for me to have the things that I have now. And so I was very grateful, and I was able to look at all of the situations in my life and realize how everything brought me to where I was in that moment, and was a very peaceful, loving, serene moment. And everybody in my life was there, and we were all just discussing, the parts that we played in each other's experience, and how important it was to bring us to the place where we were now, which was completely whole, and having a very clear focus about why things happen the way they did and why they had to. And I remember kind of waking up from the dream and being half awake and half asleep, and just really feeling really peaceful, and knowing that I was grateful. And that I now could see things from a different perspective. And so it was really about vision, right? Having 20/20 vision, having this perfect vision of, having insight, having a revelation about how the past really created the future, and how the things that you have been blessed with were a result of some of the hardest moments of your life. And so my intention today, and my intention yesterday, and my intention as I move forward into tomorrow is to work to continue to seek that perfect perspective of knowing that all things are working for my good, that there is a purpose behind it all. There's, if a tree goes through seasons and the tree changes colors in the leaves, and then the leaves fall to the ground, and then the trees are bald, and then little green buds show up, and then flowers show up, and then beautiful green leaves show up. If trees have stages and a purpose for each part of their season, how much more do we as human beings, how much more are the seasons that we go through purposeful? Like, a lot of people will think that what we go through in life is just happenstance, but if a tree thought that, well, I guess it would be significant if a tree thought, or if we could hear what a tree thought, rather. But if we look at that, and then we understand that even the butterfly has its phases, and the moon has its phases, that we do too, and they're all purposeful, and they're all designed to bring us to a greater knowledge of ourselves and a greater knowledge of that which created us, our source, the source of our being. And so I'm sure that if a tree was to talk, it would rejoice in all of its seasons, knowing that nothing is being taken away from it, that it's all a part of the unfolding of its life. In the same way, everything that we go through, every single thing. On our way home, it was really interesting because we were driving home from Atlanta, and all of a sudden, it was raining the whole way. It's been raining the last 2 days. All of a sudden, I hear this snap, and one of our windshield wipers breaks off and flies off. And it happens that it was the one on my side, which was the passenger side. And so we were in a bunch of traffic. And so I said, well, my husband stopped, and he tilted the windshield wiper up, thinking that it would hold while we were driving. And I was like, I don't think that's safe. And of course it fell back down. And I said, let's stop. There was a gas station on the side of the road, one of the bigger ones. And I said, let's stop and get a windshield wiper from them. And he was like, they don't have windshield wipers. And so at that moment, I went on, what is it called? Google Maps. And I put Advanced Auto Parts. And there was an Advanced Auto Parts at that exit about 1.5 miles down. So we drove down to the Advanced Auto Parts, which it said that was going to be open until 9. It was around 8:10, and we get to the Advanced Auto Parts, which looks like it's open, cars in front, but they closed at 8. And so I was certain that they had windshield wipers at the gas station that we passed. So we went back to that, and sure enough, they had them. And then we spent about 20 minutes trying to put this new windshield wiper on. And like I said, it had been raining the whole 7 hours that we had been driving, and we were about 53 miles away from home when this windshield wiper snapped off. And we tried to put the windshield wiper on. I couldn't fix it. I broke the windshield wiper. I went inside and returned it. And we come outside and we start driving, and the rain stopped. And to me, it was interesting because right after our windshield wiper breaks, and I'm concerned about the safety of our family driving, I spoke to the presence and, knew that I wanted my family to be safe, and knew that I needed to get a windshield wiper, and all the things happened. And then the rain just stopped. and it didn't rain anymore. And so I could have been upset. I could have been frustrated. We could have been fighting with one another. But walking in that intention, in that knowing that all things are working for my good, that all my needs are met, and that when I look back at a situation that seems stressful, terrifying, traumatic, I can look back and see how it was working for my good. That I have that perspective of, this is why this happened. This is why this happened this way. And I can have peace that transcends all earthly understanding. And I can be grateful for the things that I go through, because even with that thing tonight, it showed me that I am held, that I am provided for, that I'm divinely protected. And it made me really happy. Helped me feel at peace. And it helped me to continue to focus on the perspective that all things are working for my good. So I give that thanks for that now and always, and that is my intention for today and tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.